Hello everyone, welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I'm Danielle Stimpson of Learn Reiki Philadelphia, and I'm so glad to have you here with me today. If you are new here, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're watching this on the replay, you are going to have just as fun and healing a time as if you were here live. Go ahead and click that description button to see all the regular days and times that I am here streaming 5 days a week. You can also subscribe with your notifications on so you don't miss an opportunity. If you're watching this on the replay and you want to skip ahead to just the music and healing portion, go to about the 1 hour mark or fast forward to where you see the lights begin to shift. And for those of you who are new, click that live chat button, introduce yourself, make any requests that you happen to have for your personal well-being. We're going to go ahead and start things off with a beautiful crystal grid built exactly to the requests that all of you have. If you'd like to learn more about me, my live online Reiki certification courses, my community Discord, one-on-one distance sessions, and readings, as well as my crystal shop, visit learnreikiphiladelphia.com or check out the links in the description. So let's go ahead over, say hi to everybody, and get to building that grid. Ooh, awesome. Let's see, bring the light up just a bit here. There we go. Awesome. So to start us off, we have some of the stones from the 4 o'clock stream. We've got some citrine here. This helps to call upon financial blessings. It helps to manifest material possessions as well as everything we need for basic needs like roof over your head, all that good stuff. So citrine. We also have some green peridot. This helps to break up blockages, break up really habits and beliefs that are in our way, things that are a little outdated for us. And this helps to foster the friendships that support us to be the best version of ourselves as well. It's also great for things like depression, and if you have an intention on losing weight, this can be helpful for that too. So it does a lot to help us and support us, so we'll put that in the center. And we also have some moss agate. This is a deeply spiritual stone which helps to connect with our inner child work, our higher self, connection to spirit. It's also fantastic when it comes to any kind of virus or bacterial infection, anything that's sweeping through the body fairly quickly. Moss agate can help support us as we try to kick that. So there we go. The spiral itself is made of copper that helps to break up any blockages, get the energy flowing, and the mirror behind it helps to deflect anything negative, send it back where it came from. We don't need it here. That all the not so happy stuff. And of course, when I say that, I mean you are very much welcome to share your not very happy things that you're dealing with. We absolutely welcome you to do that here, but it's as long as you're in a condition to try to make things better for yourself at some point, we want to support that. And so let's go ahead and see who all is here and how we can help each other. We've got Brindley, we've got Vincent, Martha, good to see you. Jennifer, welcome back. Patty, I hope you're well. Good to see you again. Chris, welcome back. Cora Carr, welcome back. And JS left us a message and a request too. So, yeah, awesome. And for those of you who were here at my 5 o'clock stream, oh, that's right. We still have some jade underneath the grid. That's why it feels so wonky. For those of you who were here at the 4 o'clock stream, you've heard me mention this a few times already, but I wanted to put it out there. Everybody that's on the international list that hangs out here, I'm so glad to see you. And a reminder, Sunday, the U.S. flips ahead 1 hour. So just giving you the heads up, this Sunday, today is March 10th, 2023. So today's Friday. In 2 days, the U.S. jumps ahead 1 hour. So for Sunday's 8 p.m. stream, you might be seeing us a little bit later than you're used to. So yeah, let's dive in. Let's start building this grid. Awesome. So good to see you all. I don't know how the weather is by you, but it is positively pouring here in Philly. I'm just going to go ahead and adjust my mic stand. Just a moment. There we go. That's much better. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad that you learned that here. I'm just glad that you learned it, but I'm especially honored that you learned it here. Improvements are less important than courage and intention to face ourselves. Absolutely. If you're doing the best you can, you're doing the best you can. Okay, cool. So let's start putting these crystals down. And, ooh, I love that selection from Martha. Okay, cool. So we had a request for Picture Jasper for JS. Picture Jasper helps us to envision the future and start to think like big picture, like what we want to bring into our lives. It's also really great for any kind of new venture, also great for traveling, also for moving abroad and for experiencing new cultures. But yeah, this helps us to see the big picture, see what's possible. And Picture Jasper also goes by Desert Jasper. Let's do that and that. I like that. Cool. And yes, the kittens are doing well. I've got one asleep at my feet right now. I've got Hattie asleep at my feet. And yes, Korakar, thank you for reminding me of all the YouTuber things. Definitely, if you haven't already, if you could like the stream, that helps a lot. And for those of you who haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Healing intentions for your sister's spinal stenosis, flu, sinus, low metabolism, quitting smoking, financial abundance, kundalini awakening, love, relationship, focus channeling, please and thank you. You're very welcome. And let's go ahead and bring some of these out. I'll fold some of them out as other folks ask for things too. But let's do, we got the peridot. Let's start with a couple of them. Let's start with some rose quartz for sure, some carnelian pyrite moonstone. When we talk about rose quartz, I often talk about how consistent its unconditional love energy is, and that's true. That allows us to feel like there's something that can come in that's better, and it makes it easier for us to let go of things that no longer serve. So rose quartz is super helpful for that, but it also just fills our heart with unconditional love, and it just sets off a really great initial vibration for whatever you're working with. So I love working with it as like an anchor point on a grid. Carnelian helps with relationships, all kinds of relationships, not just the romantic kind. This can be coworkers, colleagues, family members, etc. But this also helps with the way that we relate to each other, the space we hold for each other, how we collaborate, how we work together. Carnelian is also a stone that, as having everything to do with the sacral chakra, has room for lots of creative energy if you've been blocked there. It's also great for sexuality, sexual dysfunction, fertility, as well as colds, allergies, and things like that. So it helps us to call upon a spiritually significant relationship if that's what we're looking for, as well as helps to beat sort of apathy and laziness. So we'll bring that in. So that's carnelian. And another stone that helps to call upon a really significant relationship can be moonstone. It also helps with intuition. It protects as well, especially it's thought to be protective of anyone traveling, especially by car. It connects with the divine feminine and the rhythms of nature. So if you are working with the cycles of the moon, if you're working with the tides, anything like that, moonstone is particularly lovely for you. I feel like it's very much linked with the High Priestess tarot card as well. But yeah, divine feminine, women's health, and all things sacred wisdom. So we'll bring that into Pyrite, I always think about this too for Korakar's mom, for the intention of like longevity and like good financial balance. Pyrite, we like to think the fool's gold calls in the real gold. It's definitely great for calling in financial abundance. It also helps with the brain and memory, with the lungs, as well as opening up intuition while also providing a good deal of psychic protection. So for that reason, it's also a great stone if someone is just opening up to their intuition or kind of trying a new technique around that. So this can be helpful. It's also a frequent gift to, or recommended as a gift to folks who are receiving radiation therapy. It's thought to be particularly helpful to guard against any unnecessary side effects. There we go. And I'll keep coming back to your requests too. Amazonite, gotcha. Hey, Dell, good to see you again. Samantha, wonderful to see you. Protection and healing for you and your dog, family, friends, job, prosperity, healing, empath, and medium protection energy. And working with the archangels, absolutely. And I see the request for Amazonite. Oh, Patty, I'm glad that the session was appreciated by the birds in your yard. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, cool. Pink opal. Pink tourmaline I have. Blue calcite or lace agate. And honey calcite. Okay, cool. And I definitely will get to everyone's request today. It's good to see you, Vincent, if I didn't say hi already. Okay, so let's do some Amazonite. This helps to bring about self-respect and self-care for those who are in the caring professions and tend to think about others before they think about themselves. It also helps with the spine and spinal nerves and provides a calming, supportive vibe in general. So that's Amazonite. For connecting with our angels, particularly the archangels, I've got Angelite. Angelite is what happens when celestite sits under the surface of the earth long enough, under enough pressure and with enough heat, it transforms into Angelite, which looks like this. And this is the one on the bottom there is raw. It's not tumbled. It came out of a geode. And here is what it looks like when it's tumbled. And this, as the name would suggest, helps us connect to our angels. It's very loving in its support. It helps to kind of lift us up a little bit. It helps us to better hear the voice of our angels and feel their guidance. It helps us to feel their presence and feel supported by them as well. So we'll bring in some Angelite. Let's do... Here we go. We have, as per the request of Jen, we have some honey calcite. This is optimism in challenging times and helps us to call upon people, colleagues, friends, neighbors, all the people who have a good tendency around them, who tend to be in harmony with us, who tend to have similar intentions in life and similar values. This is also a great stone for balancing both the sacral and solar plexus chakras. The sacral, as I mentioned earlier, has a lot of creativity there, but it's also where we relate to others around us and collaborate with others around us. The solar plexus is above that, and that's the color yellow. That has a lot to do with who you are, your individuality, your will, your intention, your desires, and your character, who you are. This kind of harmonizes both. So who am I? Who are you? Good for boundaries, excellent for boundaries. So we'll bring this in. This definitely helps for attracting the right people into your life. And optimism when things are not so great. I have both blue calcite and blue lace agate. Blue lace agate is great for the bones, arthritis and things like that too, also fractures. But the throat, whether it's an achy throat or a loss of voice, or you're having difficulty expressing, like really difficult emotional types of things, this is a stone that can kind of soften what's coming up and make it easier for you to voice those difficult things. It also can make it a little bit easier for you to phrase things in a way that can be a little bit more delicate if you're trying to express something that you know is going to be emotionally jarring for someone else. It also helps with tension headache, but in general, it's like the stone for expressing difficult emotions and moving energy through the throat chakra. Blue calcite is one I often think of as like, it's another emotional stuff hits the fan type stone. It helps to support the throat to say the things we need to say, but it also, if you need to, it's like the stone I think of for ugly cries. When we feel like we have a cry that's trapped and we can't get it out, or if we've been crying a lot, something to soothe that. But yeah, this is a great supportive stone for anything that has to do with the emotional heart and throat connection, and they are much more connected than we often think. Love and compassion for ourselves and for others, as well as any kind of experience of emotional pain, betrayal, and loss and grief, is very much felt in the heart. And then its expression is very much in the throat. So expressing our emotions can be really challenging. This helps us to kind of get the really stuck, difficult energy out. So that is blue calcite. Awesome. And pink tourmaline I don't have pink opal, unfortunately. Pink tourmaline is great for migraines and neuralgia, but it's also perfect when it comes to women's health. Like everything about GYN health. So everything from difficult periods to endometriosis, painful periods, cramps, hormonal imbalances, onset of menses, onset of menopause. This can be a really helpful stone. Also really helps with puberty, any difficulties going through that time, as well as negative self-image. It helps us to kind of work through those. So we'll bring this in. We'll sprinkle this in the middle also. So pink tourmaline. And let's go to Patty's request. Red tiger eye, celestite, chevron, amethyst. Celestite is very divine, working with Angelite. Celestite, as I mentioned, is very related to Angelite. Now, celestite definitely helps us connect with our angels, but also all of our guides and guardians. It helps us to discern our thoughts from our fears. Sometimes we're afraid of something that's not based in logic. Sometimes we're afraid of something and it is based in logic. This helps us suss that out. They're both good things to be aware of either way, but it's also great for any kind of physical pain. I feel like it helps us transcend our experience of our physical body just a bit so that our experience of pain is a little bit diminished. But overall, definitely helps us connect to our higher guides, our angels, hear their guidance, and be essentially in connection with their energy. Let's put that in front of our blue calcite. We've also got red tiger eye. This is very protective, so this will definitely help for Sam as well. Red tiger eye is the most protective stone I think I have. It's highly protective on the mundane level and on the spiritual level, whether it's people you know at work and family, in any place of society that are bullying you or anyone else. It helps to quash sexism, gaslighting, triangulation, that kind of stuff. It's also very helpful with spiritual types of like just energetic nonsense is what I like to refer to it. But yeah, any kind of like psychic attacks or anything like that, this can be highly protective of all of that stuff. So red tiger eye for sure. Also helps us to manifest material wealth quickly. So if you need money in a rush, this is a good stone. Let's see. Chevron amethyst helps us to connect in channeling, and it also helps us to better hear the voice and the wisdom of the divine. It can take our wishes and our requests up to spirit and bring answers down. So if you're manifesting, if you're asking for guidance, this can help with like opening our ear to hear the response too. It's also great with any kind of visionary work. So like shamanic journeying, psychopomp work, visionary meditation can be really helpful. It's also supportive of tolerance of others, and it's thought to support, it's recommended medically, I mean they're crystals, but they're recommended for folks that are struggling with anything that's degenerative. So that's like whether it's degenerative disc disease or neurodegenerative, any kind of thing that kind of breaks down over time. This is thought to be a really helpful crystal for that too. So we'll go ahead and we'll bring that in. And petrified wood, aquamarine, snowflake obsidian. Aquamarine is key works in customer service. Aquamarine has this great way of kind of, it discourages the always aggrieved. It kind of calms and quells them. Always aggrieved is a great way of saying the Karen stone or the anti-Karen stone. Yeah, it can help protect you from folks that are already upset and are looking for a reason to sort of take it out. That kind of thing. It can help with deflecting pettiness, and it can also help with forgiveness. It's one that kind of has a vibe of may justice prevail as well. But yeah, also great for any fluids in the body as well as the teeth and the gums. So aquamarine. And snowflake obsidian helps with releasing guilt as well as any patterns that aren't serving. It helps you to realize them and also kind of set new structures in place for yourself so that you don't kind of backslide into the old patterns that aren't helping. It's also great for body, mind, and spirit balance, for serenity, even in like kind of dicey times. It's helpful for finding hope and peace after any kind of loss or any kind of grief. It supports clairaudience, which is hearing spiritual guidance, and can calm overstimulation to a point. So we'll bring in Snowflake Obsidian. Let's see if we can put that on top of the rose quartz. Let's do that. I like that. And petrified wood. Petrified wood had to go through the journey of being a living tree that then died and slowly turned to stone. And in that, it can help us with difficult transformations as we move through the changes of life. It's also helpful to see that there could be something else after the seeming end of everything. So, petrified wood. Hey, ABC, good to see you. Heart, I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you all. Reducing inflammation and loneliness. Goddess of Four, good to see you too. I hope that the time change equals out your sleep schedule, Jen. Stomach issues and cramping muscles. Gotcha. Let's do... for not reacting to negative judgments. White coral. This helps us to focus on all of the things that are a part of our spiritual journey and our life's journey and our life's purpose. This is staying on that path regardless of the distractions and not getting dissuaded by like naysayers and things like that. Taking in other people's input is a good thing. It helps for balance, but there's just some times where the input they're giving us isn't helpful, and it's really a judgment call as to which is which. But when you feel like, yeah, this is just not helping, I know what my purpose is, and that feedback is not helpful. White coral. And I picked this up off the beach in Florida walking with my grandmother one day. So yeah, white coral. For sadness, and loneliness, and also grief, green onyx. Green onyx sometimes is more like a pistachio color. This is a much darker color because it just where it was mined and when it was mined. It's hard to find green onyx in this color. This helps all of those things, as well as moving on despite emotional pain. It can be good for even the most intense emotional stuff, like emotional shutdown or just feeling like dead inside, or if you're not sure where the means of acting out are coming from, this can be a really good one to help with any kind of deep grief. So we'll bring this in. Let's see, where shall we place you? Lapis aids in inflammation and pain mitigation, but also helps with any kind of career motivated things and just emotional and personal growth. It's a stone of integrity, of living up to promises, of honoring your obligations, truth, honesty. Yeah, love this stone and everything it stands for. It can also really help with moving your career along, as well as personal responsibility, and it does have some connection to helping anybody that tends towards being disorganized, as well as anyone who's struggling with inner ear stuff, whether it's vertigo or hearing loss. So we'll bring out some lapis. Per request from Chris, I have some beautiful hematite. This helps us to ground, and it helps us to release energy that's no longer serving our physical body, helps to clear the energy pathways in the legs and feet, and just generally take the energy that we have exhausted and return it to the earth for transmutation and recycling. It really does help to like purge the energy naturally over a long period of time over the energy we've moved on from. So very grounding too. And that's, there we go, taking care of life, like parenting myself through life's challenges. Ugh. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and bring in some Lemurian quartz for that. This is Blue Mist Lemurian quartz. This can help with healing the past, whether it's this life or previous lives. It's also great for learning about ourselves as we go through our self-healing journey, releasing past emotional pain, like maybe you've processed something and you're ready to let go of it, but it's really hard to let go of, or you don't quite know where to let go of it or how. Lemurian quartz can be really, really helpful. Yeah, spiritual learning too. I hope that this helps. Let's do... Yeah. And because this can kind of help with inner child, as can moss agate, that can help when you're saying like parent yourself through difficult things. Moss agate helps like inner child stuff for sure. And to an extent, Lemurian quartz does as well. Yes, here, I'll type it into the chat. Specifically, Blue Mist Lemurian quartz is the ones. These were a gift from Cora and Vincent, and thank you. Thank you, both of you. Yeah, you're welcome. We need to get Martha's and the rest of Chris's. Cool. And we're going to bring in rutilated quartz by request of Chris and for Cora in support of Cора's stepfather. This is rutilated quartz, which helps with focus and mental focus and the mind-body connection. It also helps with focusing healing intentions exactly where they need to go. It's long been a gift associated with anyone who's receiving cancer treatments. It's thought to help direct the healing towards exactly where it needs to go. It's also thought to be really energizing, especially if you're trying to bounce back from being like overwhelmed or exhausted, or if you're trying to kind of combat that or build up your energy stores. So this is a beautiful stone for lots of things, but cancer treatments as well. So lots of love there. And circadian rhythm, sleep, energy balance. Labradorite definitely helps with better sleep. It also helps with calming disputes in customer service, so definitely key on the mind there. It helps with clairvoyance, which is being able to visualize intuitive pictures. And it helps with detailed attention, research and study, needle in a haystack, fine detail. It's great if you're doing really detailed work, whether you're doing like coding, or if you're like painting something very, very detailed, or if you're, any other number of things that's like requires serious attention to things. This can be really, really helpful. It's also great for workplace harmony in general. And like I said, to begin with, better sleep. So that is labradorite. And labradorite and moonstone are related stones. So we're going to go ahead and put them close by. Go. I hope that helps. And Iolite also helps. Brindley requested blue lace agate, which we have. Larimar, citrine, which we have, and mookite. Okay. Larimar helps with connection with our spiritual purpose, spiritual pioneering, and separating the ego from the self. So when you're on your spiritual path, it's not going to look like anyone else's path. That's why it's yours. And spiritual paths don't look the same. It may not look anything like anything that you could have dreamed or imagined. That's pretty typical, actually. This helps support you in trusting that. So we'll bring in this Larimar. Let's see. Mookite helps with making decisions and accepting change. Also is thought to help calm digestion. And it also goes by Australia Jasper. So yeah, so that's mookite. Let's see, put that here and here. Aragonite with blue Caribbean calcite. This encompasses two types of calcite. One that works with our Earth Star chakra, which is enacting and embodying and making happen our spiritual mission and doing the tasks that are needed and showing up to do that work, as well as the blue supporting the Soul Star chakra above the crown, which is envisioning our soul's potential and kind of having the inspiration to follow our spiritual calling. So this helps with balancing the upper and lowermost energy centers, which balances the energy centers within. It helps the Kundalini flow better within the body. It helps just in general energy flow better. So let's go ahead and bring this in. Go. Blue kyanite helps with self-acceptance and understanding our spiritual soul's purpose and understanding any kind of messages from our guides, from spirit, and while we divine. Whether you are having a hard time understanding your dreams or it feels like you're missing something in your meditations, this can really help. So blue kyanite. Sapphire is a potent stone of channeling, very potent stone of channeling, and of also explaining what we're getting as far as the information, so that as we relay the messages we get, it can be in a way that's the most meaningful and useful, really, to whoever you're getting answers for. So any kind of channeling work that you're doing, this is a beautiful stone to use. It can be somewhat intense and ungrounding. So I do recommend that if you don't have a grounding practice, that you get into the practice of one before possibly working with this stone for optimal results. And let's see. Okay, Herkimer and the stone that I just put down. Oh, darn. 10 screws in her spine. Oh, absolutely. She will be in my thoughts. Oh, thank you. And we've got, what was the stone I just put down? Heart, can you remind me what it was about? And I'll let you know which one it was, or what color it was, and I can let you know what it was. Awesome. Herkimer diamond helps with the spiritual side of manifestation as well as relaxation and being in the present moment. It can help to harmonize energies that just don't feel like they're getting along. That includes people. It also helps with metabolism and with intuition. For cancer treatments, rutilated quartz. Rutilated quartz. So I just typed it into the chat for you. I know it's easier to read the names of the stones than it is to hear me pronounce them. So let's put it in the Herkimer, and we'll keep Susan and Greg in our thoughts when we use Herkimer. Okay, there we go. And Martha had Mookite, citrine, amethyst, black onyx, clear and smoky quartz. Iolate's there, carnelian's there. Okay, so black onyx is very protective and also helps us to connect with our ancestors. It's one that holds a lot of wisdom. And if you are working with your ancestors to learn about them, if you are doing any kind of like genealogic research, this and Kambaba stone are actually really good choices to have nearby. But like I said, extremely protective, including and surrounding like old magical practices too. So, yep, black. This also helps with grief too. Black onyx. Where shall we place you? There we go. Smoky quartz helps with protection and transmuting energy. It can actually fundamentally change the energy. And it's a wonderful stone for that reason to keep around the house. Back in the Middle Ages and even before, smoky quartz was used to protect the home and the the property to keep it from being, stolen. So it was thought to prevent theft. It's also great for just calming worry and breaking up emotional blockages too. So that is some smoky quartz. This is some smoky quartz. Smoky quartz can be so dark it's almost black, or so pale that you almost can't tell it apart from clear quartz until you see them next to each other. It can be more gray or more brown depending. So let's put that right in front of the black onyx. There we go. For clear quartz, this is one that's like an amplifier stone. It's like a blank slate that kind of shoots out the extra vibes. It gives like extra oomph to the crystals around it. And clear quartz can also be great because it's such a blank slate. It can be great for programming. So you can hold it and do Reiki with it, or do whatever kind of energy practices or prayer work you might work with, and sit there with it and ask it to hold a particular intention or a particular energy, and essentially make it your own crystal talisman. You can use it in place of other specific stones too. So if you don't have a certain stone, that's okay. Get some clear quartz. It could stand in for whatever you need. So yeah, clear quartz. And amethyst. This is one that can also aid with sleep. So definitely for Jen in that regard. But it's helpful for, as we're doing any kind of our self-healing work and doing any kind of self-help, it helps us to take ownership, much like lapis would help us with taking ownership of what we do, taking personal responsibility, owning our commitments, at the same time taking care of what's ours without taking care of what is someone else's. So it's really good for boundaries, especially when you're just new to the concept of boundaries. It also helps to lighten the mood and remind yourself that, like, okay, you did some things you're not proud of, you're in a different place now, you're changing, you're moving towards something new. Be a little bit lighter on yourself. You're making changes. So it can be very encouraging and supportive as you go through any kind of self-healing transformation. This is a stone that's often linked with 12 steps as well. So, and with any kind of addiction recovery, not just 12 steps. So we'll bring this in, but yeah, sleep too, and opening to spirituality, especially if you're new to spirituality. So there we go. And I think that's everything for you. It is. This will also be helpful for Brindley too. Lots of mediumship stones for Samantha too. Protection and healing energy for your dog. I'm also going to bring in leopard skin Jasper for the animal healing. We did that at 4 o'clock too, and it felt good. Ooh, the double fish quartz? Absolutely. Oh, Del, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that my sound has that, my voice has that impact. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's okay, Belinda. We're just happy you're here. But yeah, I will definitely bring in that, the fish with the two circles. Absolutely. So here is leopard skin Jasper, which can help with animals. Animal healing, connection with our animal spirits, which is also so funny. We had it in the 4 o'clock grid, and then I'm like, wow, Crow came by in the rain and was singing right in my window. And it's like, yeah, well, I have Crow tattooed on my arm. Crow is one of my closer animal spirits. So yeah, it makes sense. But this can help the living animals in our lives as well. So good ones to have out, especially when your animals are attracted to the Reiki healing. I know a lot of ours are. The cats will be here at some point. Let's put that before the black onyx. Between black onyx and smoky quartz. Go. And if I missed you, let me know. Any carved crystals? Absolutely. You're the second person to ask for carved. Yeah. Aw, thank you so much. Yeah, Gertie is just their healing purrs are like amazing. Thank you so much, Del. Thank you for all the love you bring in here. I really appreciate you and appreciate that. Oof, definitely lots of love to your sister too. Amazonite is there, and let's also do some howlite. This helps with anger and resentment, but also helps the bones, the joints, bone density, calcium absorption. That's a problem I have for sure. I fell out of a hammock trying to get into it and properly snapped the second largest bone in my body and managed to damage the femur a little bit too. Definitely have bone density issues. This is, like I said, howlite. This is great for joints too, also for anti-frustration. So yeah, this with lots of love to your sister. May her spine heal quick, Chris. And you're welcome, Sam. The pinkish purplish stone. This one? This one is amethyst. It looks a little strange under the lights. It probably looks more pink, especially because there's clear quartz under it. Oops, sorry. Thank you, Gigi. All the love in the chat tonight. Thank you all so much. Yeah, I think we're about at that time. So, thank you, Heart. I love being here, and I love being here with all of you. Absolutely adore it. So, I think it's that time. Let's go ahead and vote on which stones we want to add to the grid, just to help really drive home all the intentions that you had. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in, I saw some requests for carved stones, so I'm going to bring those in. The first is hematite, which is carved in a Hamsa, or Hand of Miriam, or Hand of Fatima. It's known by a lot of different names, but this particular symbol is highly protective. And yeah, so we've got this one. Hematite we already have. It's very grounding. It allows us to release the energy that we're ready to let go of, the energy that our body has moved on from. and helps us to ground and reconnect with the earth and all of our earthly needs. The other is, as requested by Korakar, the double carved 2 fish quartz. There are 2 fish in here and a couple of flowers, but the symbol of the 2 fish has a lot of there's a lot of symbolic meaning about the union of the 2 fish. It has a lot to do with the flow of yin and yang and balance. It's also very connected to the second Reiki symbol for those who may have studied Reiki. So yeah, it's a very special type of picture. It's not just a random thing. But yeah, a lot of balance, a lot of flow, a lot of movement, and it's carved into this beautiful round bead. So I have, remember, if you're voting, for those of you who are new, you are not limited to just one vote. Hint, hint. You can probably see all of the answers coming up in the chat now. That'll kind of give you a clue. But feel free to vote. While you're doing that, go ahead and like the stream if you can. Consider subscribing also. I'm just going to quickly explain what Reiki is, a little of how it works, and then I'm going to send the healing to you when and wherever you happen to be. So, as I mentioned at the top of the stream, my name is Danielle Stimpson. I'm the owner of Learn Reiki Philadelphia. If you'd like to learn more about my live online Reiki certification courses, one-on-one distance healing sessions, and tarot readings, or my crystal shop, go ahead and visit learnreikiphiladelphia.com or check out the links in the description. So, what is Reiki? I've been working with Usui Reiki for about 14 years, and Usui Reiki is named after the method's founder, Mikao Usui, and he created this particular system in early 1920s Japan. And in this system, it's deeply spiritual, but yet secular. And that's, I feel like, a big part of why this particular method resonates with Westerners just so strongly. The concept of just what energy is can be seen in the indigenous spirituality of Japan, which is Shintoism. They have a concept in which everything has a soul and everything is inextricably linked. Within this inner linkage of everyone and everything, so not just people, but animals, plants, the earth. Out of this interconnectedness, there is a flow and a movement. And there's also additional energies at play, one of which is a spiritually guided soul energy, which is roughly what Reiki translates to, spiritually guided soul or life energy. This energy supports everyone and everything everywhere, but more specifically, it works with our body, mind, and spirit to help bring about the greatest amount of balance that we can at a given moment. Our body, mind, and spirit are working with this energy all the time, much like how we're mostly made of water and our body is making the most of that water all the time, but we don't generally think about it, do we? No. Same with Reiki. Even if we don't acknowledge it, it's still doing what it does. Essentially, what I'll be doing today is using Usui's techniques to connect to this energy and direct more of it to your greatest healing good, allowing your body, mind, spirit to use even more of this energy to bring your balance to an even greater level. During the session, you may feel some sensations physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You may feel these as like different physical changes in your body or sensations. You may have some emotions rise up or be released. Mentally, you may have an opportunity to like think some things through or hear your subconscious. And spiritually, you may just have a sudden like epiphany answer to something or a big motivation or even a deep intuition. You may also just have a great nap. And honestly, awesome. Whatever happens to show up for you in whatever way is perfectly designed for you today in this moment. And just as we are all interconnected with that energy, regardless of where we happen to be, that applies regardless of when we happen to be. So if you're watching this in the future, hello from the past, you can go ahead and enjoy the healing just as you would have if you were here live. Those of you who are here live can always come back and watch the recorded sessions. And you can even zip ahead to the healing if you want to, so that you can always have some healing when it works for your schedule. Because you know what? Energy doesn't so much need to know where exactly and when exactly we are in order to support our physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional highest goods. So during the session, you don't have to focus on anything. You don't have to keep your mind silent. You don't have to keep your eyes closed, although you can if you want to. You can lie down, you can sit up. I generally encourage you to get into the most comfortable position for you possible. And if you feel like you want to move around, that sounds great too. You can go ahead and stretch a little bit, or even integrate some yoga or some workout in the background. Maybe you want to journal, maybe you want to play some music, maybe you want to stretch out, maybe you just kind of want to stare at the wall. Whatever you're doing during this time, whatever feels right to you, is still going to be as beautifully healing as anything else you could do. So just enjoy your time. This session will last 25 minutes. During that time, I'm going to have the lights turned down. You'll notice that they move slowly and gently through several different colors, but at no point do they flash or strobe. And when it comes to music, you will have a beautiful soundtrack. And to learn more about our musical creator, she's linked at the very bottom of our description, so you can check out her YouTube as well. At the end of the 25 minutes, you'll hear my voice come back in. I'll invite you to take a deep breath, come back to your body, and at that point, I will reopen the chat. You can ask any questions, you can share any experiences, and then from there, we'll call it a night. So this time is about you doing what feels right for your highest good. So absolutely enjoy it. So let's go ahead, see what won that vote, and then head into the healing. Oh, it's both? Of course it's both. Add honey calcite for you. Actually, yeah, I did put in honey calcite already. There's some around the edge. So absolutely. Support for COVID. Let me do some green kyanite. This can be really great for the chest, lungs, throat, heart, and all of that. And we used this during some of the hardest times of COVID to support folks, and we got lots of great responses from that. So I'm going to put this in. Green kyanite is also deeply spiritual. It helps us to take the spiritual and mundane parts of our life and kind of integrate them. It can also help us to better connect with the spiritual energy of plants and space. Awesome. Sweet. So we have the green kyanite in there. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and take this beautiful piece of white coral and place it right at the top. We're going to go ahead and take this round healing stone and do our best to place it in the middle if the universe allows. There we go, the two fish. I'm going to try to put the eye of one of the fish right under the camera. There you go. Yep, there's a fish. You can see the scales right on this side. And then the hamsa. No, let's see. There we go. There we go. Awesome. I love it. Thank you, everyone. I love everything about this. relax. Everyone get nice and comfortable. I'm going to start sending that healing energy. We're all going to feel better. Something feels like it needs to be at the bottom. We already have aragonite and blue Caribbean calcite. I'm going to put a piece of aragonite at the bottom. Again, this is our Earth Star. This is enacting our soul's purpose and bringing it forward. It's also deeply grounding, and it does help to heal anything on the physical level. So, yep, aragonite. Oh, that feels perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, everybody go ahead, get relaxed. It's time to get into some Reiki healing. Enjoy your sessions, and I'll see you all in 25 minutes. invite you now to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly come back to your body. Thank you so much for being here with me this evening. I've got Hattie Cat that's been joining me throughout this session. She jumped up the minute I started, and I hope that you can hear some of her purrs. If you have any questions or anything to share, I invite you to go ahead and use the chat. And Dell, thank you so much for your kind words. It's so beautiful. Thank you. I'm so glad it put a smile on your face. Your message put a smile on mine. Oh, yes, absolutely. Bright, beautiful weekend, new week blessings to us all. Thank you, Patty. Oh, you're welcome for the perfect session. Thank you, Martha. Oh, you're so welcome, ABC. Love to you too. And you're so welcome, Chris. I'm grateful for you being here. Lots of love to your sister. Let's see if I can... Oh, Brindley, that's wonderful. Aw. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Brindley. That's beautiful. Lots of love to you. Yep, Reiki blessings from the kitties indeed. Patty, Chris, Vincent, thank you all so much. Oh, little Hattie. Yeah, furry helper indeed. Just like wraps herself around me. It's too much. You're too much, little butt. It's okay, Brindley. It's all good. It's all good, Brindley. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing with us. Yeah, lots of love to you, Brindley. Aw. Yeah, these two are something special. Can't believe they basically fit in my hand back in September. And here we are in March. And have trouble lifting her sister. You all are super, super welcome. I hope you all have beautiful plans for the weekend. Even if it involves even just a little bit of time for yourself. And this is what she looks like this hour of night, but usually first thing in the morning, like around 6, she's screaming at me to get up and open the window for her and play with her. Like literally crying like a human baby for attention. Yeah. Yeah. so with that, please go ahead and remember to click the like button on the way out. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I will see you Sunday. If you're not in the US, I will be 1 hour earlier than normal. Oh, little cuddle bug. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the stream to a close with an abundance of gratitude for each and every one of you. I'm so grateful. So have a beautiful rest of your week. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I hope to see you again soon. And from both of us, bye for now.